There's a strange kind of silence that shows up after chemistry. The date felt easy. The laughs were real. The eye contact lingered. You walked home replaying moments, assuming this is how new stories begin. And then nothing. No reply. No follow-up. Just air. We call it ghosting, but psychology says it isn't random. It's a defense system, a strategy, sometimes a habit. In the moment, closeness feels safe because dopamine and novelty take the wheel. Anticipation floods the body. Curiosity quiets risk. Hours later, when the nervous system returns to baseline, the prefrontal cortex starts auditing. What does this mean? What could this cost? For avoidant styles, that audit flags loss of autonomy. For anxious styles, it flags, I might get hurt. And some people cope by disappearing first. At a vulnerability hangover, the uneasy, post-intimacy second-guessing, and silence feels simpler than honesty. Cognitive shortcuts help the exit. Minimize what happened. It wasn't that deep. Magnify a flaw. They said one weird thing, or romanticize options. There's probably someone better. The interface makes it effortless. No shared circles, no social consequence. So the gap opens the one between how connection feels in real time and how commitment looks in the mind. In real time, it's warmth. In the mind, it's workload, risk, identity. Ghosting lives in that gap. When the body said yes, the story felt right, but the fear of what comes next felt louder. For some, connection triggers alarms, not butterflies. The nervous system reads closeness as a loss of control, so avoidant attachment styles reach for deactivation strategies, tiny mental maneuvers that turn the volume down on attachment. They'll downplay the date. It was fine, not special. Zoom in on a single flaw, the way they said that word. Nope. Or quietly rewrite the memory so the warmth feels smaller than it was. It isn't that they felt nothing. It's that feeling something threatens autonomy. Intimacy rises, and the mind starts buying space. Reply slower. Cancel plans with a practical excuse. Switch to late-night texts only. Keep conversations safely surface. Talk in I, not we. They may compare you to an idealized ex or future fantasy, an impossible standard that protects distance. Micro-criticisms appear where affection was too intense, too available, not because you changed, but because closeness did. Underneath is a simple equation. Closeness equals obligation equals risk. Deactivation lowers the perceived cost. It replaces curiosity with quality control, tenderness with troubleshooting. The language shifts to safety slogans. I'm just super busy. Not ready for anything serious. Bad timing. All technically true, none emotionally transparent. Ghosting is the ultimate deactivation. Distance with zero friction. No negotiation. No mirror held up to their fear. It spares them conflict, shame, and the vulnerability of saying, I liked you, and that scares me. In a world where the exit is a tap away, silence becomes a strategy. Preserve independence, avoid discomfort, reset to baseline. They also fear vulnerability hangovers, the anxiety afterglow that hits when the chemistry fades and the lights come up in your head. In the moment, disclosure feels safe because novelty, dopamine, and mutual attention turn risk into thrill. The next morning, the nervous system does an audit. The brain scans for danger, replays sentences, magnifies small awkward beats, and asks, did I reveal too much? Did I misread them? What happens if I keep going? What felt intimate at night can feel indicting by day. The mind tries to close the tab. To relieve that tension, it hunts for exits that don't require a conversation. Effective forecasting mistakes label ordinary comedowns as wrong person. Confirmation bias cherry picks tiny reasons to retreat. A typo, a pause, a preference. Shame joins in. If I follow up now, I look eager. So the plan becomes avoidance disguised as decisiveness. Delay the reply to numb the urge. Send a vague, busy week to buy space. Or vanish entirely and call it not leading them on. Underneath is conflict avoidance, branded as clarity. Explaining a change of heart means tolerating discomfort, owning mixed feelings, and negotiating boundaries, skills many people were never taught. Ending abruptly promises relief without repair. No explanations, no counterpoints, no mirror. It feels cleaner, but it's just quieter. Ghosting becomes the simplest anesthetic for a vulnerability hangover. Press mute on the other person so the anxious narrative can settle back into safety. Cognitive biases help. The ambiguity effect makes the unknown feel safer than the uncomfortable known, so the mind picks the exit with least explanation. Unknown outcomes carry no immediate accountability. Messy conversations do. Loss aversion amplifies it. Risking awkwardness now feels worse than losing a potential connection later. So silence wins the cost-benefit math. Maximizer mindsets feed FOBO, the fear of better options, where one good date gets reframed as a trap. If I commit here, what am I missing? The paradox of choice turns abundance into anxiety. Every swipe suggests a theoretical upgrade. Satisficers look for good enough. Maximizers chase best possible, and best possible is a moving target. So commitment starts to feel like opportunity cost. Swipe culture weaponizes this. Variable reward loops. Sometimes a match, sometimes a miracle. Train the brain to crave the next pull of the slot machine. Intermittent reinforcement makes maybe later feel exciting. Possibility becomes more rewarding than presence because imagination never interrupts, never asks for clarity, never reveals incompatibilities. Leaving the chat unread preserves fantasy. It keeps the story perfect by keeping it unfinished. Past experiences matter. Rejection-sensitive minds carry old alarms into new rooms. They expect the drop, so they jump first. Pre-abandonment is protection logic. If you leave first, you can't be left. The body remembers patterns even when the story is different. Tight chest, shallow breath, that familiar edge of waiting. So the safest move feels like exit. Hypervigilance scans for proof. A late reply becomes a verdict. A neutral tone becomes disinterest. The nervous system would rather be certain and alone than hopeful and blindsided. Trauma can turn warmth into a trigger. If love once arrived with chaos, affection paired with withdrawal, praise followed by punishment, the brain links closeness to danger. Comfort doesn't say safe. It whispers setup. So when a date feels unusually easy, predictive coding fills in the worst-case future. This is the part before it hurts. Ghosting becomes a brake pedal. Not cruelty, control. A way to stop the roller coaster before the drop. Schema maintenance kicks in. Better to preserve the old belief than risk the pain of disconfirming it and being wrong. Some carry attachment wounds shaped by inconsistency. As kids, they learn that need equals burden, that emotions invite rejection. As adults, tenderness feels like exposure. So they micromanage risk, keep the conversation light, keep options open, keep exits close. They'll minimize what they felt. It wasn't that intense. Exaggerate what could go wrong. They'll get clingy and disappear without goodbye, not to punish you, but to soothe the part of themselves that expects goodbye anyway. In that calculus, silence is self-defense. It restores power, resets the heartbeat, and returns them to a world they can predict, even if that world is lonelier. Shame plays a role. When a person's self-story whispers, "I ruin good things," genuine chemistry doesn't feel like luck. It feels like a threat to identity. The mind protects the narrative that kept them safe by creating distance from anything that contradicts it. This is cognitive dissonance management. If reality says this could work, but the script says I break what works, something has to bend. Disappearing restores the familiar plotline. Relief arrives, not because it felt good, but because it felt known. Self-sabotage is certainty dressed as safety. The brain prefers a predictable hurt over an unpredictable hope. So small exits appear as logic. I'm too busy. The timing's off. They're too into me. Perfectionism joins in. Raise the bar until no one qualifies, then call it standards. Imposter feelings add pressure. If they really see me, they'll leave. Better to leave first. Shame frames avoidance as responsibility. I'm sparing them, when it's really self-protection from being seen and staying. Underneath, there's a fragile arithmetic. Closeness increases the chance of being loved, but also the chance of being witnessed. For someone who equates visibility with judgment, vanishing feels like control. The silence becomes an eraser. No follow-up, no evidence, no chance to confirm the fear that they were never enough. That's the trap of shame. It mistakes escape for care and turns possibility into proof of danger. Then there's the dopamine drop. Anticipation surges before the date. Novelty, uncertainty, the thrill of what if. Reward circuits light up. Attention narrows. Everything feels a little brighter. After the peak, the nervous system returns to baseline. That contrast doesn't mean wrong person. It means normal regulation, but the opponent process kicks in. After elevation, there's a dip, and the dip gets mislabeled as doubt. Instead of normalizing the comedown, the mind pathologizes it. If I felt less today, it must not be real. Reward prediction error adds fuel. If the night exceeded expectations, the brain expected the follow-up to match the high. When reality is quieter, busy day, slower texts. The gap feels like loss. Hedonic contrast turns ordinary into underwhelming. Effective forecasting mistakes the morning's calm for insight when it's just chemistry cooling. Some people chase the spike instead of the person. Memory edits the story too. The peak-end rule compresses hours into highlights and the final note. A slightly awkward goodbye, a delayed reply, one offhand comment. Recency weights it heavy, and the brain files the whole night. Under, not it, confirmation bias scans for supporting evidence. A pause becomes a problem. A neutral tone becomes a sign. Mood repair kicks in. Better to exit now than ride another emotional swing. So they opt out, not because the connection lacked substance, but because the comedown felt like a verdict. In truth, the chemistry didn't vanish. The volume normalized. The work of real connection lives in that quieter bandwidth. Modern design makes vanishing easy. The architecture favors exits. No shared circles, no mutual friends to ask, no social cost for disappearing. Infinite replacement sits one thumb away. Low friction erodes responsibility. When leaving takes less effort than explaining, impulse wins. We outsource courage to the interface and call it boundaries. Choice architecture does the rest. Swipe to archive, swipe to delete, swipe to replace. A motor habit becomes an emotional habit. Read receipts toggle off the burden of acknowledgement. Vanish modes erase evidence. Mark as unread. Lets you postpone until the feeling fades. Mute keeps the door technically open while closing it in practice. Every micro-feature lowers the price of avoidance. Asynchronicity helps too. Text lets you delay discomfort without the mirror of a face. No breath, no pauses to fill, no eyes to meet. People become bubbles on a screen, not bodies in a room. Dehumanization by design. A handle, not a human. A notification, not a nervous system. When algorithms reward novelty over nurture, attention skews toward what's next, not what's here. Platforms optimize for engagement, not repair. Variable rewards. One super like, 3 dry chats, a surprise match. Train the brain to keep spinning the wheel. The loop feels productive even when it's hollow. Why risk an awkward no when the slot machine promises another maybe. In that ecology, silence isn't an outlier, it's a feature. The tools make disappearing feel like hygiene. Clear the queue, clear the mind, clear the conscience. And sometimes, ghosting isn't pathology, it's immaturity. Not evil, just underpracticed. People who were never taught clean endings default to silence because they don't have scripts for honest no's. Conflict feels like catastrophe, so avoidance masquerades as kindness. They confuse discomfort with danger and mistake relief for integrity. They underestimate the impact because they overestimate how replaceable moments are. If connections are endless, consequences feel weightless. Skill gaps show up as delays and vague exits. Crazy week. Work is wild. Let's touch base soon. Repeat it until the thread dies. It's not strategy, it's stalling. Emotional regulation is low, so any potential awkwardness spikes anxiety. Without models of healthy boundaries, they outsource decision-making to time. Let it fade, let it sort itself out. Never noticing that silence still communicates, just poorly. Maturity looks different. It tolerates the brief burn of clarity to spare the slow ache of uncertainty. It sounds like, "Thank you for the date. Nice connection, but I don't feel a romantic match," or "I'm not available to keep exploring this." 10 seconds of courage beats 2 weeks of ambiguity. Growing up in love means learning endings, closing loops, returning keys, giving words to shifts in feeling. Ghosting isn't always a wound speaking. Sometimes it's a skill not learned yet. And skills can be learned. If you've been ghosted, don't translate absence into inadequacy. Silence is a mirror of their regulation, not your worth. Your value doesn't evaporate because someone lacked the skills to hold a conversation to its conclusion. Instead, watch the pacing. Inconsistent momentum after a strong start is an early weather report. Big warmth on the date, then lagging replies, then bursts of charm followed by gaps. Future talk without scheduling is another. We should try that place. Next weekend would be fun, but no time. No address, no calendar invite. High chemistry with low reliability looks electric and feels empty. They're dazzling in person, foggy in practice. Disclosures paired with distancing show up as intimacy one night, detachment the next, deep shares, then silence. I've never told anyone this. Then 3 days gone. Mixed signal logistics matter too. Quick to text late, slow to plan early. Eager for vibes, allergic to structure. Patterns that predict a fade often rhyme. They mirror your energy, but don't initiate. They apologize for disappearing, then repeat the disappearing. They frame you as special, but keep you generic. No details remembered, no life woven in. They respond when you nudge, disappear when you don't. They keep the door open with emojis, yet never walk through it. None of this is proof that you're lacking. It's proof that they're not ready, not regulated, or not choosing. Your job isn't to decode their quiet. It's to honor your clarity. 2 attempts, then close the loop. Protect your self-respect. Match consistency with access. Let effort be the filter. What helps? Start simple. Send a kind check-in that invites clarity without pressure. "I had a great time. Still up for Friday?" Clean, specific, easy to answer. If there's no reply, create your own closure. You don't need an explanation to move. Closure is a decision, not a dialogue. Use a boundary you can keep. 2 attempts max, then exit. 1 invitation, 1 follow-up a day later, then you're done. Don't audition for someone who won't show up. If they reappear after silence, let access match consistency. Happy to reconnect. Let's plan something specific. And if they can't, you won't. Give yourself a script for endings so you don't spiral. Thanks again for the date. I didn't hear back, so I'm going to assume the timing isn't right. Wishing you well. 10 seconds of courage beats weeks of guessing. Protect your nervous system. No background monitoring, no rereading the thread, no building theories from read receipts. Unpin the chat. Mute for 30 days. Put your phone down and put your life back on the calendar. Gym, friends, sleep, something creative. Replace rumination with movement. Adopt a filter, not a chase. Consistency is the metric. If they want in, they'll make it obvious. If they don't, your silence can be an answer too. You're not hard to love. You're hard to waste time with. If you're the one who ghosts, try a one-line honest close. Thanks again for the night. Wishing you the best. Keep it short, specific, and kind. No autopsy, no debate invite, no soft doors like maybe later. Send it in the same medium you've been using, within 24 to 48 hours of deciding, so silence doesn't do the talking for you. What not to do? Don't breadcrumb. Busy this month. Don't blame. You're too. Don't crowd their healing with compliments that keep hope alive. Clarity is kindness. Ambiguity is ego management. If they reply, honor the mirror rule. Match their length and tone once, then close the loop. You don't owe a debate about your preference. You owe a clean ending. If they ask for feedback, only offer it if it's kind, concrete, and solicited. Otherwise, I don't want to overanalyze this. I just don't feel the fit is enough. Practice the muscle. Say the line out loud, send it, mute the thread, and move. Ending well is part of dating well. It tells the truth without leaving a bruise. Healthy connection is not intensity, it's consistency. Sparks are easy, patterns are proof. Choose the person who makes plans, not promises. The one who texts when they say they will, who moves the conversation from "we should" to "here's Thursday at 7." Reliability is romance. It's calendars, not crescendos. It's follow-through that makes feelings feel safe. Watch the micro-habits. Do they confirm details without you chasing? Do they check in when life gets hectic instead of disappearing? Do their words and actions rhyme? Consistency looks like steady pacing. Not love bombing this week and low battery next week. It looks like repair after a misstep. Hey, I dropped the ball yesterday. Here's me picking it up. That's character in motion. Chemistry is the spark. Character is the light. Chemistry thrills. Character protects. Chemistry flares. Character endures. Pick the person whose kindness doesn't depend on mood, whose interest doesn't require performance, whose curiosity shows up on ordinary Tuesdays. Attraction can open the door, but integrity keeps it from slamming. If you need a simple filter, use this. Energy, effort, and empathy. Energy, do they initiate? Effort, do they plan? Empathy, do they consider your time and feelings when they do? If two are missing, the third won't save it. Slow burn over fast burn. Green flags over grand gestures. A healthy bond isn't loud. It's stable. It doesn't sweep you away. It stands with you week after week until steadiness starts to feel like home. In the end, ghosting after great dates reveals a truth about modern love. Closeness is easy, courage is rare. Anyone can feel a spark. Fewer can hold a boundary, name a feeling, or offer a clean goodbye. Courage isn't cinematic, it's practical. It sounds like, "I liked meeting you," or "this isn't my match," or "I need to move slower." Small sentences that carry big honesty. Modern love will always offer exits. Courage creates entrances. It makes ordinary courtesies feel like miracles. The text sent when promised, the plan made when suggested, the no delivered with respect. In a world wired for vanishing, the bravest thing you can do is show up clearly, consistently, humanly. Because chemistry starts stories. Courage lets them be written.